Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast blood.
What's up, gang? Welcome back to another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day, and we brought Youngstown to you today. I have Justin Adams in the house and Maeson Green in the house. Both just so happen to be from Youngstown, have a lot of similarities, and both are in the business and tearing up the business. And so today what we wanted to start out with is, I think what sticks out about the similarities of you two is both of you left something that you were pretty passionate about to start in this business. Both of you were successful doing something before you started it in this business. And so Justin, just to tell you all a little bit about how Justin, I knew since high school. We met before actually 8th grade year in the summer going into high school. Justin's last name is Adams. Mine is Arias. We just always ended up being next to each other, played high school football together, college football together. He come out of college and started out with Morgan Stanley, right? Yep. Morgan Stanley. Yeah. And was successful there, making six figures as a financial advisor and stockbroker over there. And then Maeson graduated from Youngstown State, was at Youngstown State. I actually got introduced to Maeson through Coach Tressel, Jim Tressel, President Tressel from Youngstown State. And I always remember hearing about you before I met you. He's like, man, there's this kid, got such an entrepreneurial spirit, went to Fitch. And he's doing something with shoes, selling shoes and building up this shoe company and all this stuff. And he's always telling me about you. He's like, man, just at some point you guys got to connect because I think you guys remind me a lot of each other. And I met Maeson and didn't really expect for him to end up starting in the business. And he ended up hitting me up one day and flirting with the idea of coming into the business. And so I can't wait to hear a little bit more about your journey. But why don't you start me out, Justin, and tell me, it took me 2 years. From when I wanted to recruit Justin into the business, from when he actually came in, was over 2 years in the business. Wow. So what was it that finally got you to leave your successful career, coming out of college, making six figures already, all that?
Oh, yeah. Do they want to know the truth or they want to know,
whatever you want, Justin.
Ride, so I always knew Simon would be very successful, and he got off the gates running at American Income. And, I always flirted with the idea of maybe I could be successful here. I mean, he would tell me I would be successful. I would come home, just to visit him and have some fun. I mean, we were fresh out of school, and I would be in the field, at people's homes, with the binder. And I was making really good money at that time, $150,000, which I thought was really good money. And, it always was in the back of my mind. I said, you know what, maybe I should, try this because anything that he has done, I'm like, I can do this. But I didn't want to really take that risk. I really didn't want to leave where I was comfortable. My dad really didn't want me to either, and he was a big influence in my life because I lost my mother when I was 12. So he really didn't want me to do it either. And one morning I just had to, I told him that I would come if he started his own. Didn't think it would happen, so soon. So I thought I had some time, right? Yeah. And so then he started his own organization, Arias Organization. And I just came down to check it out and look at it. And I had no instance of leaving, Morgan Stanley. I wasn't going to leave. I was set. I was winning
And
awards.
you and your dad are close.
Yeah.
He has such a great influence over you. So it's shocking that he would tell you, don't do it, and you still do it.
Exactly. Yeah. I never went against him. I just bought a house as well, my first home. And that was like maybe $100,000 that first home. I was excited. And I came down and I saw what was going on. And I started looking at people and I said, there's no way I know that person's better than me. That person, I'm very competitive at a young age. And then Simon, dropped the bombshell on me. He said, look, if you don't come right now, this gentleman who, we went to school with, I'm not going to say any names. He said, if you don't come, he's going to be your boss. And I could not see him as being my boss. So being competitive, I prayed about it. And I told my dad, hey, look, I'm moving back home. And if it doesn't work out, I told my dad, I said, then guess what? I'll go back being a stockbroker. But I told him, you're going to get a trip to California, Beverly Hills. I said, that's going to be my ticket to you. Just let me work and watch what happens. And I took him to Beverly Hills, California, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Love it.
That's awesome.
How about you, Maeson?
Wow. So
how did you get started?
So
what did it for you?
Good question. So I first met you at President Tress's house And what got me was the Bentley outside. When I seen the Bentley outside, I'm like, oh, man. So I'm meeting with some people. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I woke up, got dressed, hit the gym, put on my YSU gear, and I was on time, pulled up in my '03 Saturn Ion to President Trust's house.
The Saturn. Jay, didn't
Saturn.
you used
I
to
had
have a
a
Saturn?
Oh, yeah, Saturn.
Jay used to have a
Aura,
Saturn. Y'all got
yeah,
so
Aura.
much in common.
Wow.
My mom
Oh my
had an
gosh.
Aura. It's still in the garage right now.
Unbelievable, man. Wow.
And when I met Simon, what stuck out about him, the moment he found out I was doing shoes, he texted Katie right away and said, I need Maeson Green to get Shoe Dog. He got my address and sent it straight to me. And I was like, wow, I've never met somebody that just wanted to send me a book and help me grow without even knowing me. So then we added each other on Facebook. And this is through my college career of me doing the shoe business. And then my mom was still here at that point. But we're like flirting around on Facebook. This is when you're developing Tristan. And I told Tristan about this. I said, man, like, you're really the reason why I got into the business, because I seen somebody who was young, who was kind of getting started out, to then become an SGA in the company and then see how many people he was able to help. And I said, I can mimic a lot of those leadership qualities and those grind qualities. So when my mom passed away and I was graduating from YSU, President Trust said, I know you got the shoe store at this point, but just look into Simon a little closer, see what he's doing, and see if there's something you guys could do to maybe, fit in. So I came to an agency meeting, and I was sitting there, and Justin came and whispered in my ear. He said, that number of ALP, cut that in half, that's what they made. Yeah. And I'm looking at the people, and, I'm not better than anybody. I'm just a child, of God. But I was like, I could probably outwork a lot of these people just because, I opened my shoe store. I was 19 years old. That landlord trusted in me, didn't have to. Right. I was like, yeah, I could do it too. So I wanted to come out here and do it. And 2 years in, I'm doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. What things do you think, Justin, you've seen in Maeson that stands out to you as to why he's being successful? And I know he's going to be more successful. Yes. Right where you're at right now isn't the pinnacle of where you're getting ready to be, where you're going to be. Right. But he's there. Yeah. Oh yeah. What things have you seen from him that stand out?
I see all the intangibles. He's dependable. I know if I tell him something, he does it, and he's there. Bright and early. It don't matter if it's late at night. He will put the time in and the effort to get the job done. He's very competitive as well. Doesn't like to lose at all, but likes to win, but hates to lose. And then I see he's able to bounce back from adversity. Very positive, and whatever happens, and it doesn't matter what happens to him. He's always positive, and he tries to find the best thing out of it. So I think those qualities alone are some of the best qualities you can have. Working.
Speaking of
well.
handling adversity, another thing that y'all two have in common. Yeah. Is both of you lost your mother. Yes. Justin, you lost your mother in grade school. What were you, 7th grade?
Yeah, 7th grade.
Right
before my first football game, yeah.
Yep. Oh, wow. And Maeson, you lost your mom
19.
At 19 years old. Yeah. So, getting over that adversity is not easy for anybody at any age. At 60 years old, it ain't easy. 50 years old, but to do it young and still find a way to pick yourself up. Yeah. How did you, specifically you, Maeson, at 19 years old, then you get into this business, and all that stuff. Yeah. How were you able to get through that? I don't know if you ever get over that, but just get through it. Yeah. How?
It takes a village. So for sure, I want to just shout out my family and, some of my closest friends, because my mom was my rock. I think you even knew that just being on Facebook, how close me and her were. But I think I got through it. I'm getting through it just by staying busy. I'm somebody who likes to be hands-on, and when the pandemic happened, that's actually when my mom passed away, and I was doing a couple different things, but it allowed me to go all in with shoes. And I said, I'm going to go all in to the point where I'm going to open up a shoe store. I'm going to work in the shoe store. I'm going to manage the shoe store to where, at the end of the day, my mind's just on shoes. Yeah. And it worked out for me. Now, there's those times where, obviously, I got to stop what I'm doing, and, I may cry or I may miss her and whatnot. But at the end of the day, doing stuff like the GRINDcast is showing her that, her name's living on forever. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Amen.
So I'm just thankful to be in a position to be able to do stuff like this and continue to elevate, Bridget's name, for sure.
What have you seen from Justin, as a leader that stands out to you that you think has helped you in the process?
Man, Justin, I look at him like just a big brother or a dad that I never had. And the reason why I say that is because he knows how everybody needs to be coached. Yeah. So he doesn't coach everybody the same. He gives me exactly what I need when I need it. But ultimately, you know, he's there for me as, you know, a person as well. We grow together in our faith, and that's important. I've never been working somewhere where I can grow to somebody with my faith. But also just leading by example, being an African-American in a business, doing good in a business, being a good dad, being a good husband, but also just trying to make people successful. And I think that Justin, man, me and him are like alike in a lot of ways, you know, and we could sit here all day and try to figure it out. But I know as long as I'm under his leadership and your leadership, I mean, sky's the limit. 5 years, 10 years, whatever is going to happen.
No doubt.
Definitely. Yeah. I think God puts people, you know, in your life, you know, to get your life better. You know, also sometimes to get it worse, Satan tries to get in there. Yeah. And, you know, I at the time, you know, with losing my mother and all these different things, I didn't know why it was happening. You know, just like I got 3 daughters. I didn't know why was I having 3 daughters, you know, but over time you look back and you realize, okay, that's why I have the 3 daughters. That's why maybe I had to go through, you know, my mother passing away because our college roommate, his mother also passed away. It happens more so than not. So, you know, I think now that I'm going through different things, I'm like, it's to get other people out of it, you know, and I feel like that's, you know, my mission on this world, to try to make those people feel comfortable, make them feel at ease and know that it doesn't matter how much money you have, don't matter if you're black, you're white, you know, these things can happen to anybody. You know, but life will go on. Let's look forward and be positive.
Any
about
mental
it.
toughness secrets or tricks, Justin, you got? Because I could tell you out of all the good traits of yours that you have, you know, work ethic being one of them, you know, that's sky high on the list. One of them is your mental toughness. I've watched you get through a bunch of stuff, bro. And maintain a positive attitude, at least on the outside, you know, to the team, to people that you're leading. And I've watched you go through things and just keep on trucking and keep on plugging. Like it'd be like watching a running back come through the hole and just you watch him just get lit up and he just keeps getting back up and keep running the ball, keep running the ball. What tips and tricks do you have for stuff like that? Like, how do you get through adversity?
I think my biggest trick is just my vision and where I see myself and my family, you know, in the future. Because if I spend so much time working, you know, I love spreadsheets, I love, you know, all these things, but I vision cast a lot to myself, and I see the picture of what I want. So if adversity happens and things happen, I'm always thinking long term, and I know this too shall pass. You know, no thunderstorm lasts forever, right? And at the end of that thunderstorm, there's a rainbow. So you're going to go through stuff, you know, and I think me diving more into my faith, I think that also helps me because, you know, in the Bible it says you will have trouble, right? So if he says you're going to have trouble, understand it's going to come. So I think proactively, if I know that these things are going to happen and I know that the bad things are going to happen at some point, it lets me get through it a little bit quicker, you know, and also I'm thinking long term.
You grew up on the north side of Youngstown, right across from Crandall Park.
Oh, yeah.
I think your dad sold his house recently, moved to Austintown. Right, I missed that house. I love that house. We got a lot of memories over there.
Oh yeah.
That driveway, I'd have wrecked my car on that driveway. What did he sell that house for? 50 grand?
50 grand, yeah.
50 grand recently.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right? Did you ever see yourself in a house? You know, Justin could probably sell his house right now for a couple $1 million. You know, that's 50 grand to $2 million. Okay. Yeah. Did you ever see anything like that, man? Can you honestly look back and be like, man, my vision was in my 30s, I'm going to end up building a house and having something like that. Did you ever think something like that would be possible?
No, I did not. You know, I wake up every morning and blink and I'm like, this is unbelievable. You know, what God has been able to bless me with, you know, me and my wife and my kids. Yeah. And I never, ever imagined it, you know, but I feel like you gave us the opportunity to think big. Jim Serace did as well, Marcus Smith. They showed us what was possible, you know, and then also me being African-American, I wanted to show everybody else what's possible. So I always tried to play like I was the underdog. You know what I mean? Like with that chip on my shoulder, no one's going to give you anything. So you got to fight for it all, you know? And what would it be for me to give up or quit? You know, how's that look for Mason? Right. And I wanted to be able to show them just that whatever you put your mind to, but you got to work hard, but have the faith, you know what I mean? And persevere, you can get that done, you know? And that's my message to everybody. And proactively thinking about what are some of the obstacles that you're willing to go through. and I was willing to fight through anything.
Mason, what
Still
do
am.
you see, for people that transition into the business, and, what traits make somebody, do you think, be good in our business versus somebody that doesn't end up making it in the business? What would you say are some of those traits?
Number one, I feel like you just got to be a dog. Like, this is in business. If you run any business, there's going to be highs, lows, and in the middle.
Yes.
Everybody sees the highs. We all look at like the Grant Cardones and all these guys, but we don't look at their lows.
Yeah.
And I think number one, you got to be able to go through those highs and lows and stay even keeled through the midst of it all. But number two, you gotta be consistent, because a lot of times our business is repetitive. We're making phone calls, we're running interviews, we're on presentations, and sometimes, we do get tired. But having that vision in line that's stronger than where you're at right now will keep you going every single time. And the most times I see people not work out in this business is because they don't have a vision. And if they do have a vision, it's not big enough.
Right.
If I look at, like, when I came into the deal, a lot of people that I came in with aren't here anymore. And if they are here, they're not performing at a high level. So they're probably not here anymore. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But having that vision and being a dog, I would say, being able to take the pressure.
Love it.
Yeah. I think to add on to that also is got to be patient. A lot of people want to rush the process, and they don't want to fall in love with the process. They hate the downs, but they love the ups, like Mason was saying. And a lot of people aren't patient enough. I gave myself really 1 year first, right? Because I didn't want to lose my Series 7. That was a hard test. 250 questions. You think the insurance test is hard?
100%.
Man, I'm talking about the pass rate is like 40%.
Wow.
Maybe 30%.
Wow.
So I didn't want to lose that. So I gave myself 1 year first. But then after that 1 year, I'm like, I'm going to do 10 years. I don't care if I lose everyone on my team. I don't care if everything goes away. I have to do 10 years. And I put my feet in the sand and said, that's what's going to happen. So I think a lot of people got to be patient with the process, and a lot of people aren't. They want it right now. Right
there.
What's cool is I'm watching, I'm looking at your suit right now. You got a pin on there. Is that the real men wear pink?
You got it. Oh yeah. And I wore the pink for a reason. Yeah.
So why are you into pink? Why real men? What is that? Tell me what that's all about.
So Real Men Wear Pink is a campaign that our buddy Jason Staley got me on. He lost his mother also through breast cancer, and every October we raise money for the awareness of breast cancer, trying to find a cure for it, because so many people lose, their lives for breast cancer, men and women. Of course, it's more prevalent in women than men. But, I hate to see those children lose that mom, and what they're going through. So when I heard about it, I said, I don't care. I don't need the suit. I don't need anything. I just want to be able to raise awareness, for breast cancer and let people know how it affects, so many people. They have a walk every year as well that I try to get, involved into. They stopped it due to COVID, I think, a couple years ago. But every October, Real Men Wear Pink, we're trying to raise money for the actual breast cancer awareness, but also just to make sure that people know that it's out there, and it's October.
Proud of you, man. You could depend on us to support
Appreciate
you
it. Yes.
every year through that. Justin is a giver of his time, of his money, of his heart, of anybody that knows Justin knows that he's a giver. Another thing is you sit on the board of Steel City Impact, with us for the youth program here in Pittsburgh, and put the work in, with that. We had Youngstown Inspiring Minds. You were the first founder, with us of starting Youngstown's Inspiring Minds, and put in all the work with that. So, one of the things that I'm proud of to say that we've been able to keep, that I've watched the culture be able to maintain and keep, is what got passed on to me and us through Jim Serace and Serace Smith Agency and Organization, is giving, being givers, so I love that. And I watch you and I watch your team, get involved in the process of giving and stuff. What advice would you say you have for somebody starting out, in the business that's listening? Maybe they're in their first year. What advice would you give to somebody that wants to get to where you're at?
Me first, I think you have to find somebody who you want to mimic. Our business is a copycat business. You literally can find somebody, copy everything that they do, and you'll be successful. But you got to do it continuously and not get tired. They say success is going from failure to failure to failure without losing the enthusiasm. So you got to know long-term what you want. Write down those goals. Writing them down is so important, because the books that you read, someone wrote it down first, right? Yep. So I think find that person that you want to mimic, that you want to copy, and listen to every single thing that they say, not just 90% of it. not just 25% of it, but understand that your time will come, because if they can do it, you can do it as well. And that's what I did with yourself. That's what I did with Marcus Smith. I just listened to everything that they had to say because I wanted to go back. I always tell people this, right? I wanted to go back and say, hey, it didn't work. And that was my whole mentality.
And I'll tell you this, man, Justin, as a partner in the agency, and your role is just going to continue to increase in the agency, in the organization. Justin, is people may look at you and think, oh, because Simon knew him, you know, he must have had the easy route. Man, I'm here to tell you, harder. Justin might have had the harder route, the hardest route, because he was my friend. Because I've been hard on you. I've probably been harder on you than anybody else. I mean, you name it, I've done it. You know, with Jay on the come up, from demotions to stripping his team off him, stripping leaders off him, you know, hard conversations, effect, you know, all these things. And I could tell you that it's never changed your vision. It's never changed your ability to stay loyal, you know, to the business or affect your attitude at all. Always took everything in stride and was okay with that. And so I would just tell anybody listening that it ain't about being somebody's friend, you know, at least here it's not, because that really didn't really, only thing that helped Justin with that is knowing about the opportunity. And from there, it really wasn't a ton. It was mostly on Justin to be coachable, because I watch a lot of people and it has the opposite effect. Is they ask me, how on God's earth are you able to lead your friend? Because my friends don't respect me, or they don't listen to me because they knew me from back then, and they don't want to respect the position, and you know what I mean, and all of that stuff. And so I think we together collectively have been able to find that that rhythm that is rare. Maeson, what advice would you give, you know, to somebody? What I respect about you is you were successful already. You had that vision of owning that shoe store. You had a shoe store, all that. And out of the blue, you're like, look, I'm gonna give those things up. And I know you probably had to put a lot of work into that. Probably had a lot of people tell you that you were crazy. You know, why you doing that? It don't sound as sexy. You know, it sounds more sexy to sell shoes than it does to sell family protection for your life. You know what I mean? And so what would you tell somebody on the sideline sitting in, and they're like, man, I'm here, I'm waiting. I might kind of, I want to be on Mason's team. I'd love to be, but I don't know if I'm ready to make that leap. I'm scared.
Right. Yeah. I'd say just take the
Josh,
risk.
is the mic close enough for him? Okay.
Yeah. I'd say take the risk, but most importantly, go all in and get yourself, be realistic with yourself and give yourself a timeline of when you could go all in. When I closed my shoe store down, it was October 14th last year. I remember, it'll be coming up on the 1 year anniversary, and thank God where my life is right now. Come on. But it took me 6 months to actually get it completely closed. I was still in contracts. Just because I decided to close it down doesn't mean I get out of contracts.
No doubt.
And stuff like that. And then I end up getting an apartment out here because I went all in, and that's the big thing. You gotta get yourself in a position to go all in. I had a conference room in my store, 1,200 square feet of space, but it just wasn't it wasn't it, because I made good money doing shoes, but when I would go in my car at 8 o'clock at night and I'm going home and I look at my text and I don't have any friend or anybody I could call that would understand what I just went through today. That's what stressed me out. And when I came here, it was more so for the people. You could sell anything and make money if you sell a lot of it. You could sell a lot of potatoes, and it might be 70 years old selling those potatoes, but you'll make good money.
Come on, Maeson.
But you know, it was the people here. And when I was sitting at breakfast or lunch yesterday with Mario and Silva and Darnell, I'm like, this is why I came here, because you guys get it, and I get what you guys are saying. You know what I mean? So when you
say get it, what do you mean by get it? I know what you mean by get it.
You understand what it takes to win. A lot of people want to win, Simon, but they don't understand what it actually takes to win. They see the Cuban links, they see the bust downs, but they don't see the pressure that the person had to put into the diamonds to make them shine the way they shine.
What's the bust downs? What's that?
So those are the iced out watches that, you know what I mean?
Just make sure everybody knew.
Yeah. But we see the stuff that sparkles, but we don't see what it took to get it to sparkle like that. So my 3 tips would be coming into the business. Number 1, 4 tips. Number 1, go all in.
Go all in.
And when you look at going all in, that's just simply outworking people It's outlasting people. And number 3 is not quitting when things get hard because they're going to get hard.
Yes.
And knowing that, prepare for that, and then proactively just be ready for it.
Going all in, outworking people, outlasting people, and not giving up when things get hard.
Now I
Sound
have
like
one more
Justin.
And I have one more in mastering your craft. Be a master. You know what I mean? Be a master.
Yeah.
Like want to put those how many hours they say? 10,000 hours in.
Yep.
Put your 10,000 hours in. Don't think you're gonna get it after 100 hours.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's lottery thinking. You know, that's poverty mindset.
The residuals that you're getting released now, they're not. I mean, they seem big, but what they're about to be is going to be ridiculous. Okay,
Yes.
but right now, what are you getting? About $250,000 a year?
Yeah, 22,000 a month. You know,
22,000 a month,
Yeah,
quarter mil a year.
And I'm not that good. You know, it's just the.
So that
people
means
around me and the
without going to
company.
work.
Yeah.
Help explain what that means.
Oh yeah. What a residual means is without doing anything, you know, not going to work, not running any meetings or coaching calls, the company will ACH $22,000 into my bank account every single month.
Wow.
The only reason that it'll go down is if people die or people stop paying to the contracts. So you're able to create your own retirement. And once you're here for 10 years, you're 100% vested. I've been blessed to give 15 years here. Now I'm probably going to give another 15, 30 years they got me for. But I love what I do. You know, I love seeing young people like Maeson come in to business and then they mature and then they're adults having children. They're having marriages and that's really my mission now, just to see them, you know, from when they start to what they become. And I feel like that's what it's about. That's why we're in this world.
What are you excited about, you know, being that you've been here 15 years already? How do you still stay motivated and inspired and excited? What do you see in the next 5 years, you know, that got you excited right now?
Just the amount of leaders that we have, you know, in our organization, moving to the next level and providing now a way that people can get to, you know, my position. They can get there now, but I feel like going to that next level, being that agency director, I feel like that's going to spark, you know, so many people, with Maddie D doing it this year, me doing it, hopefully God willing the next year after that. That gets me really excited because now I can show people how to create wealth. I can show people how to save their wealth, how to tithe, you know, with the church to 10%, just because that's something that, you know, me and my wife started to do 4 years ago, and it unlocked, you know, everything. You know, we were flirting around that $1 million mark, and every single year after we start tithing, we were over $1 million. You know, blessed to be there. And
come on, Jay.
It just shows me
from the north side of Youngstown.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Thank you.
African American boss.
Oh yeah,
Let's go.
Seven figures in his 30s.
Let's go.
Come
but
on.
Just seeing these young kids, man, how excited they are. The virtual world has changed the game. And just being able to create now millionaires with this organization, and want to create now a couple more partners, and sky's the limit. And I see us doing $100 million of production.
Let's go.
And I think about how many lives we could change with $100 million.
Amen. And Maeson, you know, from the jump, you know, I remember telling you, I see you like a Justin.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
From the jump.
Yep.
I remember I told you that, and you got some of the same traits, some of the same
networking.
qualities,
Yeah,
you know, a lot
showing
of the things, and so I'm excited, you know, for you. I think you're going to accomplish, if you stick with those 4 things you went over, you're going to accomplish way more than even Justin accomplished quicker.
Yes.
You know, that's the goal of this,
Yes.
is that
Oh,
we're
yeah.
supposed to
Amen.
help you make it quicker
Get that moving.
and better and bigger. That's the whole game. And so I commend you for making the sacrifice and having the vision to go all in, you know, and to move, you know, up here and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
What things would you say are things that you've learned in this business outside of money? You know, like take money out of it. What things have you learned here that you think would apply to any business that have made you better, that would make other people better?
Right. Just taking care of yourself. This business focuses on your MBS, your mind, your body, your spirit. And it sounds like cliche to us because we do it all the time.
All the time.
But outside of this podcast, people are like, mind, body, spirit, what is he talking about? And it's pouring into your mind to make sure at the end of the day you're right. Because if you're not right, you can't help anybody else be right. Your body, you know, you are what you eat. So chances are, if you're not healthy, your room's probably dirty, your car's probably dirty, and you're not where you need to be in life.
Yes.
But most importantly, your spirit. because, you know, regardless of if it's God, it's God for me, but if it's Allah for you or whoever it is, we have to connect with a higher power to understand that we're not in this thing alone.
Amen.
And I think that that's actually got me through some of the grieving processes with my mom, because I wasn't doing those things before. And I was doing the wrong things. I was gaining weight. I was eating the wrong food, smoking, drinking, you know, all that stuff. And we still have fun now, but it's controlled fun. You know, there's a difference. Yes. And I think this business outside of money helped me control myself, because you get it right there. You have it right here. You close 2,000 ALP, $1,000 is in your bank account. Right now. And in Youngstown, $1,000 you can buy a lot of stuff. You can buy a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it really made me control myself. And, you know, getting out here, man, it's probably the best thing I could have did.
I got two more things for you. One, I got a question for you, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but if there's any questions you got for me, I've done a couple of these. Nobody's asked me any questions. I want to give you the opportunity. Is there anything you want to ask me directly? I'm going to keep it 100 with you on here. But before I do, Mr. Maeson Green, I missed it. Me and Justin been super busy traveling. I just got back from Chicago. What do you think I'm going to ask him, Justin? Any idea? Did you catch the score? I missed it. Did you catch the score of the Ursuline and Fitch game? Huh? Did you catch that?
Boys, they look good. Oh, yeah. They look good this year. I think there's a state championship coming for Ursuline.
I think so too.
We said it, yeah.
So those of y'all that don't know, Maeson went to Fitch.
I love you, Coach Parker, but man,
we went 14-1 my senior year, and Fitch beat us. They was our only. So I always got that little bruise in my heart. And then they beat us last year. But I had to throw that out there. Any questions you want to close us off with?
Question for you is, man, 16 years in the game, what keeps you excited? Like, you're the most on fire person in the building at all times. And that's how I want to be, you know, because where there's an Arias organization and there's an Adams organization, there's going to be a Green organization. And I want to bring the fire every time. No doubt. Know, and I know you go through stuff, but how do you bring that fire every single time?
Yep. So first I want to apologize for those of y'all watching this. If you're watching this, I just want to be clear. The reason why I got the sunglasses on right now is I got a black eye. All right, and the lights messes with my eyes, so I got to keep the shades on inside. But I stay on fire. First thing is, our old founder of this company, Bernard Rappaport, said you must first set fire to yourself before set fire to others. And then he also, and I had the pleasure of spending time with him and being around this man. And he's like, if you set yourself on fire, people will drive from miles away to watch you burn.
Wow.
And so I know that to set myself on fire, I don't know if each individual, first you got to know thyself, right?
Yes.
So to set myself on fire, what sets me on fire is first having a vision, a big vision. And my vision is to win. And so we're not number one in all of Globe Life. We're number two in all of Globe Life, right now. And the person in the team that does more than us, I'm actually celebrating 18 years, Maeson.
Congrats.
In December with the company. But going on 16 years since we founded the organization with my moms and just a couple of people, less than a handful of people. Yeah. And the organization that's ahead of us, they got almost 4.5 decades in the game. Yes. And so just chasing that, having that competitive nature, keeps me on fire. I think part of the reason why I even look at that to keep myself on fire, because it ain't the money, because if it was the money, I wouldn't be as motivated. We already made the money. Justin's dad sold his crib for $50,000. My grandmother gave us our house. Me and my mom sold our house for $11,000. Right. Then we went to Campbell, Ohio. We sold that house for we bought that house for $32,000. So combined, both of the cribs I grew up in was $43,000. And God willing, we should make that easily over the next couple of days. Right. And so I think the thing that's kept me zoned in that way is I know myself as a competitor. If I could just make the game fun and say, okay, here's a team. We want to get together and compete. Yes. If I focus on trying to beat them, it's going to make me better for our people. It's going to make me a better leader, because the other thing that keeps me on fire is the promise. I've made a promise to the people around me, and I said, the minute that I can't give you everything I got to grow, I'm out.
Yep,
If anybody
yes.
wants to know when I'm out, like that's it.
Respect.
I can't quit.
Respect.
I can't cheat the game.
Right.
I would have to provide other people and give them an opportunity to put in what it requires and what everybody deserves, because when somebody walks in the doors of this, I don't want to give them less than what I was able to have. And I got people going all in to mentor me.
Yeah.
And so anytime somebody chooses to come here, I know what type of guts that takes. I know a lot of people are probably saying, don't do this. I know there's some butterflies in their stomach. And although I can't connect with each and every person in every single office, I know from the top I can give my absolute best. And things typically grow by the law of the lid, right? So if the leader at the top ain't growing, then it'll stagnate the whole. And we got superstar leaders, young people like yourself. To where y'all keep me on my toes of like, if I don't keep growing, these people ain't gonna have nowhere, because they're gonna keep growing, and I don't want to be the thing that's holding us up. And then, last of a bunch of things, I think the more things you can write on your wall that keep you on fire, the better. But I'll just share with you a couple, because I could be here all day with what keeps me on fire. But the third one, man, is haters, bro. And Jay knows that. I've always responded well to haters.
Bulletin board material.
I needed it. I was small growing up. I'm small now. Playing high school football. I wasn't supposed to play at Ursuline. Everybody told me I wasn't going to play. Ended up starting. We win a state title. Went to college. I believe only reason why they gave me a scholarship in college is because I talked Justin into going. And Justin should have went D1. And they're like, well, look, we're going to give you a 2-for-1, because if Justin comes, you know what I mean? We're going to hook you up. So they give me a scholarship. I know I wasn't even supposed to play. Started 4 years, a safety. It was always that chip on my shoulder with haters, people telling me what I can't do. And the more that you grow, the more success that you have, the more people that'll hate on you, and you got people that are going to constantly throw shade, your way. And those things, to me always fuel my fire when I feel like somebody's against me, or I feel like I'm an underdog, or I feel like somebody's waiting for me to fail, or all the things that people said were going to happen, all those things I still keep in my belly right now. And I can remember people in my first 2 years here in Pittsburgh that left and did something or said something and said we wasn't going to make it. London Bridge is falling down, and all these things, bro. I'm 40 years old. These are things that happened at 23, 24 years old, 25 years old. I'm still remembering all these things, and I never let them go, because those things are the things that wake me up when I don't feel like waking up, keep me going when I don't feel like going. So I just want to tell you, those of y'all listening out there, just no matter what you do, we got people from all different journeys and all different walks of life. Whatever you do, this is the GRINDcast. This get on your grind. You're either growing or you're dying. I watch more people die when they slow down than speed up. You know what I mean? So if you're going to die, die swinging. If you're going to go out, you're going to get strike out swinging. Go out swinging. And keep on putting in the work and keep on grinding. I think most people don't know what they're capable of, because they allow the world to make them think average and not allow themselves to think big enough. If I could tell you, coming from, being in a situation where I'm surrounded by more people in poverty or below the median income range, to being around people that are above the median income range, it's the thinking. It's the quality of your thoughts. Right?
All thinking.
So we appreciate your time, Justin and Maeson, and everything that you're doing, for the organization. And I'm so excited, to continue this journey with both of y'all. I do, Justin.
I look at it. You've accomplished so much. The house, the cars, the real estate. What are some of your goals that maybe you have not crossed off yet that you could tell everybody?
Yeah, I just want to be a good dad, man. My goals when I ask questions and I look up to people, I'm always looking at other dads and people that have accomplished things that I haven't accomplished yet, which is, I've watched the product of some people's kids, and whenever I watch a parent-kid relationship and I see the product, I'm always asking them, like, man, what did you do? What was your strategy with your son? What was your strategy with your daughter? Because I just want to be a good dad You know, I want to be a good husband. I want to know that, you know, begin with the end in mind. You know, when the Lord takes me home, that people could say a whole lot more about me than I put up a bunch of annualized life premium, you know, in a bunch of productions. So I think those are really the, you know, the goals. I've had the cars, you know, we got the rolls. I got, you know, we got the house. We've had houses in Florida. We've done private jets. You know, we've done all that stuff that don't matter. I mean, it's fun. Exactly. I don't want to say it don't matter like we're mad at it. I mean, it's fun. We have a good time. Don't get me wrong. But it don't make us better than anybody. Don't make me feel, you know, super accomplished or nothing like that. So only thing I got on the docket, man, is what you all are allowing to happen right now. I think that my heart was always pulled in wanting to help people. I wanted to be a coach. I came this close from being a football coach. And then I always was pulled to the inner city youth, you know, mission because I wanted to give back, you know, to people after I made it out of that environment. Like, man, here's how you do it. I wanted to tell somebody. And so I think God put me in this environment where I can be a coach to people and I can still give back and teach people, you know, the ropes and how to do it. But what's keeping me on fire is being able to watch other people get those things and be a part of people's lives that can get those things. And, you know, we're chasing 100 mil and all 100 mil means, and that's just first stop. That ain't the end goal. No. That ain't the 100 mil is the next stop in the vision, $100 million in business annually. We're at about 30, you know, right now. So that triple up is going to happen. All that is opportunity. All the people in this business, you know, that are going to have all that opportunity flow, you know, flow their way. We're not perfect. The people here ain't going to be perfect. People are going to make mistakes. When you're leading 1,000 people, you're bound to have one, you know, person fly off the radar. But I promise you, you know, more people are going to be impacted in a positive way here than a negative way. More people are going to be impacted positively here than probably anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania. Anywhere, you know, is my belief, and that's the mission. So helping people mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Let's go. And then duplicating that in the other people is what's going to continue to happen. What else is going to continue to happen is we're going to keep grinding on the GRINDcast. Thank you for joining us on another episode of the GRINDcast. Get ready. It's a new day.